I just came to the very historical building, American Turco-Tatar Association Bina building. It's right behind me. Rahmat Salam Umid. Umid is...
I'm the secretary of the current board.
And right behind is her mom, her lovely mom, Dilerapa. And this is our vice president.
Former president.
And former president, Turan Apakay. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our interview with Turan today. Turan is the president.
Vice President.
Okay, vice president of the... Hold on, 1 second.
You want some help?
Yes, please.
American Turco-Tatar Association
Yes, exactly, in San Francisco.
in San Francisco Bay Area. We are celebrating our 66th year as an official nonprofit organization, community organization in the San Francisco Bay Area.
If someone, let's say, comes into the Tatar Sabantui, or maybe if they walk into this building meeting the San Francisco Tatars for the first time, what do you think they would notice? Like someone who has never heard, known any Tatars before, someone from the American culture, what would they notice, do you think?
One of the things we definitely pride ourselves on, and just the fact that we have been established since the early 1960s, is the sense of community. When the Tatars families first moved out here in the late 1950s, early 1960s, they helped each other, the families, the individuals, to get used to life in the United States. They came to our community center, our Bina, once it was established, as a way to stick together, speak the language, continue their friendships. The ties that bring us all together is our Tatar look, and it is certainly a wonderful thing to see. Tokyo Tatar community in 1929. I'm not quite sure the year, but later on, I think a couple of decades later, taken in Kobe, Japan, and this community photo was taken in Hailar, China. The individuals here are, many of them, the ancestors of our community members. And in fact, some of the children in this photo, I believe, are some of our current community members. My parents, they were both born in China. Many people in our community, their families, grandparents were born in Japan. And then it was after World War II when the families all looked to find a new place to live, and many of them were able to come to the United States and establish their homes here. But our families have gone back generations knowing each other. My grandparents, when they moved out here, it was almost like they came out, and the community from China came out here, the community from Japan came out here, or to New York or other places.
That's how I feel has been the reason that this community, this Tatar organization has been staying strong and actually growing, because I'm sure within the last 65 years, you guys had some challenging times.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
What do you think helped you guys stay so strong and grow and flourish, make the Tatar culture even more successful in the San Francisco area and in America too, because I think there's another one in New York, like similar.
I really think it's the desire, the desire to maintain our Tatar identity. People come to the Bina, people come to our community events because they want to be together. It was all through the desire of wanting to stay together, wanting to be united.
This is the original building.
That was what the building looked like when it was first purchased. And it was renovated, you'll see the pictures below, through just the efforts of our local Tatar members to turn it into a functional community space. The president, then President Rustam Minihanoff, he came to the San Francisco Bay Area. We organized an event to welcome him and his delegation. We greeted him with check, check. We had some lovely speeches.
So two presidents are sitting next to each other.
Very true. We gifted him a San Francisco jacket, one of our local sports teams.
Okay.
And in turn, he and his delegation presented some certificates and medals to some of our community members for their efforts in continuing Tatar cultural efforts over the many years. You see the picture, this is our picture from last year's site, so we got about at least 150 people or so, 150 to 200 people average per year. It's not like a beautiful building or the most glamorous, very nondescript from the outside, but just the fact that it's the communities, that's what makes it special. But just the fact that it exists is the main thing.
How often do you gather here?
We try to do at least an event once a month.
And it's amazing that you guys were able to preserve the language too. And the way you guys speak the language, the way you even know some fancy words that sometimes like I have to take some time to remember.
Yeah.
It's amazing. How did you do that? Like, do you guys take some Tatar classes, lessons, like ever since you were born, or how's that work?
Well, just for my own official, I was lucky enough to grow up with my grandparents nearby and in a household where we spoke Tatar at home with my grandparents, with my parents. They always told us, you can speak English when you go to school with friends, but when you come home, you'll speak the Tatar language. And both of my grandparents, Salih Apakay, Shamsi Apakay, they lived nearby, and they were both very strong advocates for Tatar culture and developing and maintaining it. But I don't want to claim that my Tatarcha is perfect. Again, I learned it speaking at home. I like to tell people that I speak Tatarcha like a 70-year-old grandmother, because that's who really taught me. When I went to Kazan for the first time, I was like, I don't really know how to speak to young people in Tatar.
But I'm sure you sound a lot better than them, I'll be honest.
Everybody learns their own ways. People have reasons why maybe they don't learn Tatarcha at home, whereas some others do. So I was lucky enough to have my grandparents nearby and helping to have that influence. But the interesting thing, you talked about the words that maybe you don't know from us. Our families, most of the families in the community are original members and their descendants. We have not really lived in Tatarstan or the Mordovia, Penza region for over 100 years. So the language that we have that was preserved and passed down from generation to generation was from that earlier time, from the Avullar, from the towns where they grew up. And we didn't really get a chance, well, we never really learned how to speak like modern Kazan Tatars or others who are growing up in Tatarstan now. So the words that we use a lot of them come from those olden times that, it's natural to me because that's all I know.
When it comes to preserving, what's the most difficult? Is it the language? Is it the traditions? Or is it actually the sense of unity?
Unity is not the issue, because I think just having grown up in the community here, unity amongst the new generations that are kind of growing up in the United States. Many of them grew up coming to the Bina, just like myself, coming here for community events. So coming here for many is like a second home. The language is difficult because it's a minority language among minority languages. Very few people speak Tatar in the United States, and those who do, they speak at home or within small communities like ours. I grew up talking with my cousins, like it's a secret language, so we could walk down the streets and talk in Tatarstan and nobody would understand us.
We also had Tatar school.
Yeah, when the first generations of Tatar kids who grew up here, there was a Tatar school for them, learning din Tatarstan and also some Tatar culture. I give credit to the many young people who maybe they're not as interested when they're young, but as they grow up, they start to wonder and want to learn about that part of their life and their history. So they start to find us and look for other ways with the many resources out there to learn Tatar or learn more about Tatars.
I had one occasion when a lady reached out to me through my YouTube channel. She's like, oh, I'm about to marry a young Tatar man and I want to learn your language. Please continue teaching us. And it's just amazing that even some outsiders want to learn and interested in learning the language.
Yeah, I mean, just within our own community, we've had many non-Tatars, many of our, Tatar men and women, they've married non-Tatars, and those people have become part of our community. They've served within our board of directors, or they've helped organize events. We had a very lovely, very successful singing chorus for many years, and we had American members of that group that learned the Tatar songs, learned the words because they felt part of the community.
I'm glad that it's contagious.
We hope so.
In the United States, we have multiple Tatar organizations, maybe not official ones, not like yours. They may form, but then after some time, very soon, maybe within a couple of years, they get weak and may even fall apart. What do you think makes you different that you were able to, what helped you? So I have my own version. Maybe it's like the main thing is that you have this Bina, this building.
It
Maybe
helps.
something else.
It does help. Sometimes it's the luck of the draw where our community was established back in the 60s when people could put their money together and afford to buy a building like this. The other major community in the United States, of course, is in New York, the American Turco-Tatar Association. They also have a community center in Queens.
Yeah.
Their community has been around longer than ours. Similar history in the sense of Tatars coming from Eastern Asia, China and Korea, and some in Japan, of course. You talk about other communities that are sprouting up in places like Miami and Washington, D.C., Seattle, Toronto. I think the most important thing is really not to put all the burden on one or two sets of shoulders. Because you definitely need organizers, you need people to lead, to spearhead movements. It's a lot to ask of just a few individuals to keep the momentum going year after year. So getting it started is absolutely wonderful, and I give credit to all those leaders. Equally as important, I think, is to start to bring people into the circle so that you can start to delegate, you can start to build up new leaders, new people who can help shoulder the load and continue to do some of that work.
And speaking of you personally, right? For you, what is the American Turco-Tatar Association? For you personally, what part of your life, in your heart, what is it for you?
Coming here, like I said, it's a second home in many ways. We come into this space and I feel comfortable.
If these walls, the walls of this building could speak, what do you think they would remember? Can you remember one event that you could share about within those, 60 years? Or at least, whatever many.
I mean, just for the record, I've had the gray hair since high school, but I have not one event. We've had, year after year, we have our Bayram there. We celebrate Kurban Bayram, Ramazan Bayram. We get together as community. Whenever the bina is completely full and it's sometimes hard to walk through between tables, we're always kind of like asking people to move by just to get around. When it's completely full, that really, I think, brings a warm heart. We celebrated our 50th anniversary in the 2010s. It took a lot of effort. Many people got together. We had our committees in all aspects of planning the logistics, putting it all together, finding our musicians, finding our space to host the event. As we started to plan for that 50th anniversary celebration, we really started to get the sense of the history of the community. Many people have had their wedding celebrations here, baby showers, big anniversaries. My grandparents celebrated their 60th anniversary here. We've hosted so many amazing, talented musicians throughout the years, starting early on from the days of Rafael Yasov, Stamveni, to more modern singers over the last decade or so. Just the wonderful sounds that have echoed off these walls is something that many people remember. Of course, so much Tatar food has been cooked in here. I'm sure there's layers of fried oil that are caked inside the oven that tell its own story. So it's always fun to think about.
So this is where the magic happens. This is where they make peremech, içpıçmak, oshlar, pilau. It's a beautiful kitchen. It's actually very professional too.
Oh, and it's a good oven. It's small when we have to cook for, dozens and dozens of people. But like Amit was saying, we have an annual bake sale every year where we have volunteers come in to prepare peremech, içpıçmak, pimin. So we make sometimes 1,000 peremech, 5,000 pimin sometimes.
Wow.
And then we sell it to the larger community, friends of the Tatar community who really love Tatar food. And people, sometimes they just walk in off the street and they're curious and they walk away learning something about our culture that they haven't heard of before.
You could see there's like Sabantui pictures from different years, and this is like a pillow fight, very popular. And then we have singing and dancing, garmunda, peremech, they're all picnic frying peremech. And it's a popular tradition.
And how many years did you have this building for?
We purchased this building. The community pulled their money together. We did not take any investments, governments, help, anything. That's always a sense of pride that it's, we put in our own money, blood, sweat, and tears to purchase the building and to remodel it, to turn it into what it is now, a community center. That was purchased and it opened in 1966. So 60 years this year.
This building.
Yeah. And it has undergone small rolls here and there. We redid our floors, did new paint jobs inside and outside. But the footprint of the space has remained largely the same.
And I want to do a little game before we finish.
Okay.
So I want you to name one or two words, like it can be a word, it can be a phrase that you associate the following things that I will tell you.
Okay, let's see.
So Tatar cuisine for you is?
Peremech,
Okay.
100%.
Sabantui for you is?
Games and fun. Oh, do I answer in Tatar? I'm sorry.
It's up to you.
Okay, yeah. Birgilik is in Sabantui.
Okay. Home. What is home for you?
Family, aile.
Okay. And what is the Tatar language for you?
Tatar language for me is natural. Not that I speak naturally, but it's just naturally a part of my life. It's not something that I force, something that was just inherently part of me, like breathing.
Okay.
That's more than one word.
But thank you for going into details. In 50 years, where do you see the Tatar community in America?
Unique but united.
Okay.
You want me to expand?
I love that.
Unique but united because America is a large country. You know, San Francisco is different than New York, is different than Miami. Each pocket, each community is unique in its own way, but we're still united by our culture and our, who we are. So people, I think if you go to like a Sabantui in Miami, it'll be different than a Sabantui in New York, and it'll be different than in Seattle and different in Los Angeles and different here.
Yeah.
So I think every community has its own quirks and uniqueness and different elements, but we're all united by our fundamental identity and our past.
Name one or two things that are important that we should never lose in Tatar.
That we should never lose. Respect for the past, respect for tradition, but also forging new traditions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're about to finish, but without any questions, maybe there was something before you came to this interview, maybe there was something in your heart. I really want to share this and maybe pass it over to other communities or other Tatars.
We have people who are a Tatar parents, but their other parent is American or a different culture, but they really hold on to their Tatar side. We have people who are 1/4 Tatar, or as you get more and more assimilated, the Tatar blood is an aspect of who you are, but they still love that aspect of them. I think just the idea of Tatar look, there's nobody who can tell you whether you're a true Tatar or you're not, because it really comes to what you have within yourself. If somebody tells you you're not a real Tatar because you don't speak the way I do, or you're not doing things this way because this is how I'm used to, I don't believe that fundamentally at all, because our Tatar people, whether our diasporas are here or in Europe, in Australia, in Asia, anywhere, we've maintained our identities in unique ways wherever we've gone. We try and we succeed. If we don't succeed, we keep trying.
I agree about not being rigid with the Tatar look, because just within the last couple of days while I was here, I learned that you guys, people who moved from China and Japan, add soy sauce to everything, including peremech.
It's one of the wonderful things about being part of a diaspora somewhere is that you have your identity from generations back, but then these little elements that you pick up along the way. So I love peremech with a little sweet chili sauce.
Бик зур рәхмәт сиңа, Туран. Шулай итеп, безнең белән уртаклашуымча, шәт сезгә карап, сездән мисал алып, Американың, гомумән дөньяның башка җирләрендә яшәүче татарлар да шулай итеп берләшеп, үзләренең оешмаларын оештырып, биналар ачып, бәйрәмнәр, сабантуйлар уздырып, татар телебез, татар мәдәниятебез тагын да алга үсеш алыр дип өметләнәбез.
Big rahmet Aysun.
Сиңа бик зур рәхмәт. Исән сау